Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are playing some Is It Creativity? We've played the strategy before, and you've probably played against it if you haven't used it yourself. So it's built around the Indomitable Creativity card, which is 3 red, X for a sorcery. Destroy X target artifacts or creatures. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until an artifact or creature card is revealed. Exiles that card. Those players put the exile cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So this is essentially a way of kind of turning your tokens into the most powerful things that you can be doing in the format. So often you will find that this goes and gets, say, an Atraxa or a Torrential Gearhulk is kind of some of the favourite strategies, or some of those instantly win the game combos built around Worldspine Worm and Xenagos, that kind of thing. But in this particular deck, we are fetching a new card, which we have used before, which is Vaultborn Tyrant. So this is 7 mana in green for a 6/6 dinosaur with trample. When it or another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life and draw a card. And when it dies, but it's not a token, you create a token that's a copy of it, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So the advantage of playing this particular finisher in this deck is that not only is it new, which is always good, but also you get value off it even if the opponent kills it straight away. You get another version of it. And it's one of those where you can target more than one thing with creativity, so you can creativity for 2 or 3 and get kind of more value off the Vaultborn Tyrants. They're not redundant like legendary creatures are in multiples. So yeah, that's why we're running Vaultborn Tyrant. So the rest of the deck is creativity as you'd expect to find it, although we are running some new counter spells. So we've got Phantom Interference, which is a good 2-mana counter spell for that counters a spell unless its controller pays 2, so fairly standard. But also you can pay 4 and create a token, a 2/2 white spirit creature token with flying, so that does kind of fuel up a target for our creativity. Then we're also running 3 steps ahead, which as well as a counter spell creates a copy of a token, so we can create more tokens, and also can help us filter our card draw as well. So there's some decent new cards in the strategy as well. And then our other cards, our token generators are 4 copies of Deduce, draw a card and investigate. Very, very good card, seeing a lot of play at the moment. Fable of the Mirror Breaker obviously creates a token on its first chapter, and also creates a creature you can target with creativity on the 3rd chapter. Big score, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create 2 treasure tokens. So there's lots of different ways of creating tokens, so we will hopefully have a few targets for our creativity. It's always best to target an artifact rather than a creature, because they are harder for the opponent to interact with at instant speed. Then we have some interaction as well, so we've got 3 copies of Torch the Tower, 3 Volcanic Spites. So these are good removal spells. This one obviously has Bargain attached to it as well, so we can sacrifice one of our redundant tokens. Volcanic Spite lets us filter our cards as well. Fires of Victory, another removal spell that we can cast for big mana later in the game and draw a card off it. And then a couple of copies of Negate as well, which we can stop some particularly annoying things that the opponent's doing, as well as protect our own combos with counter magic if we choose to do so. Then in terms of the mana base, so we've got, as you'd expect, lots of red-blue dual lands. We are running 4 copies of Ketria Triome, just so that we can cast the Vaultborn Tyrant, hardcast it if we particularly want to. The green lands can help us do that, as well as the treasures that we'll be creating. 3 copies of the Mirex, so this, as well as being a mana fixer on the turn it enters the battlefield, is also a token generator, but attached to a land. Couple of basic lands, and then Sokenzan, which is a token generator, and Otawara as our utility lands. Then in the sideboard, we've got some Rending Volleys, so good removal spell that can't be countered. Some additional counter magic with Aether Gust and Mystical Dispute. So Mystical Dispute particularly good for opponents who are running counter spells, who are trying to stop us from resolving our creativity. This gives us a 1-mana answer to most of those. Narset, Parter of Veil, shutting down the opponent's card draw, as well as helping dig us into the cards we want. Anger of the Gods is a good mass removal spell. Ashiok shuts down the opponent's searching their library, as well as potentially gives us some mill value. And then 2 copies of Shark Typhoon, which is a good control finisher by itself. Cycle it, create a shark, create a token, and then we can hardcast it later in the game if we are kind of slogging it out. So yeah, that is the deck. Creativity, as I say, it's fairly self-explanatory. You will have seen it before, but we do have a new finisher and some new cards to showcase with it. So yeah, let's go onto the ladder, see how we go on with this. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and let's go be creative. Well, this is an interesting hand, isn't it? Going to be countering everything they're doing for weeks. Probably should have stuck that on red, actually. Now that I think about it, but never mind. Don't think we'll have that fellow me lad hanging around. So they're on the Golgari vampires. Yeah, they can have a zealot. I shall deduce. Yeah. Okay, let's negate Sorin. He's got terrible vibes. Kill the elf. Put Mirex on the bottom of our library. Well, we're generating some value here, but we're not doing a huge amount with it. Right, that's 3 steps ahead. Or do I just Phantom Interference it? And create a token as well? That's probably for the best, actually. Let's do both of those. Okay. Well, I'm 1 mana away from being able to just hardcast a Tyrant, so... 2 mana, rather. It's always an option in this deck. Okay, well, let's do the same thing again. Okay, so they have an Archfiend now. Draw. Well, just pass the turn. That, I think we will say no to. Yeah, I'll just chump block and take my time, I think. In no particular hurry here. And they are on a clock. Right, well, we're now 1 turn and... Well, actually, no, the mana isn't quite there for Tyrant. So let's just pass. So they go down to 2. Which case, let's create a token copy of that, draw and discard. Block. Block. Well, we're not quite dead. So I'm gonna pass the turn here. Is there anything I can do in response to that? So I could sack that, kill Glisser. I still go to 7. Nope. Yeah, they drew a removal spell just at the right time there. Okay, so I actually think this is a pretty reasonable configuration for this matchup. It's basically the same hand again, but I will take it. Yeah, let's just kill their elf, I think, here. That's a perfectly reasonable play. Underground mortuary. I don't want a preacher of the schism hanging around. Ooh, the big score's a fun one. Sure, yeah, I'll just keep countering these. I think they're too much value to leave lying around. Okay, well, there's a creativity. I suppose the question is, do we go now or do we wait for another target? Because if we big score, but then I think we run the risk that the opponent might have a Thoughtseize or something like that, so let's not. Let's just get Vaultborn Tyrant into play. Torch their elf. Okay. Good move, me. So they're holding up 4 mana here. Could that be for Collected Company, perhaps? These vampire decks don't usually run Coco. But I could be wrong. It has been known. No, just Takaduma. Okay, that makes sense. Ooh, choices now. Do you get Vein Ripper? No, fair enough. Ooh, Glisser's annoying. Hopefully find an answer to that with 3 draw steps. Yep, that'll do. No to the Mirex. Excellent. Good. Right, I still don't think I'm changing the configuration particularly. I mean, they are on the play now, so if they have turn 2 Sorin, then nice knowing you, I suppose, but we have literally no way around that, so... Okay, it's not turn 2 Sorin. Not turn 3 Sorin either, okay. So we're not dead and buried, at least. Okay, well, at least I have an answer to that. So let's discard Big Score and Fable number 2. I'll play another... what's the best way of doing this? Yeah, it's just Volcanic Spike Glisten now. Pop the Mirex on the bottom of our library. Okay, Fires of Victory is a good one. Can't kill the Preacher yet. But maybe next turn. Elf. Kill Elf, get them off 6 mana. So I'll have to use up my treasure to do this, but I think that's worth doing. Kick Fires of Victory. It's Tyrant next turn. Yeah, you can't let me have... Okay, so they do have Vein Ripper. Ooh, I could just go and get 2 different Tyrants. 2 Tyrants is quite tempting. Yeah, I think that's better than... So, it's Creativity for 2. Because then I get 4 Tyrant triggers. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, that was a pretty effective showcase for our thing. So the opponent's playing Yorion. If they're playing like Control, this is not a particularly good hand, but don't think we can make those kind of assumptions at this point, so let's just see. Yeah, so they're running the Collector's Cage deck. Okay, well... I'll counter that while I can. Yes. 3 Vaultborn Tyrants in hand is not entirely what this deck wants to be doing. Restoration of Iganjo. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty rough game 1, I think, based on this nonsense. I've got a target for my Volcanic Spite in a minute. Okay. Go away. Yay, more value from the companion. I haven't seen him on a white blink deck in a minute. That's fun to see. Good lord. Sure. Can't let this keep happening. Yeah, so we stumbled a bit in the early game here. I suspect we're going to pay the price for it. Elish Norn. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I think we can safely declare this one over. So Anger of the Gods is fine here. That's kind of it, I think. Negate I'm less fussed about. Yeah, everything else. Yeah, I think if we hadn't stumbled on early plays quite so much, we would have been okay. Okay, this hand very much has the same problem, but I'm just going to assume that it's fine now. Only because I have Deduce. Okay, it was just about fine. Though the deck really is testing us here, isn't it? Yeah, I'll counter that. Can't have that knocking around. Yep, let's just keep countering those. Ooh, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is interesting, but, I mean, I could potentially Vaultborn Tyrant next turn, so I think that seems worth doing. Just hope they don't have Elishnorn. Not immediately. Yes, you may play Charming Prince. Oh, big score. I'll discard. Duplicate big score. Wow, I kind of got to play Tyrant now, haven't I? Okay, creativity gives us some game later. Yeah. Sad. Unnecessary, one might say. Pretty darn rude. Well, let's set ourselves up for future creativitying. This is a good place to wipe the board as well. Anger. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So I can creativity for 2 next turn. No, I can't. Okay, let's ditch both these lands. So, math. Yeah, go on, let's try and set up a creativity for 3. I think that is fine. We will potentially have 3 creatures to play with next turn, 3 tokens. What? Okay. So I can't play creativity, is what you're telling me here. How did they end up with both halves of that without having to do anything? They didn't even go looking for it. Outrageous performance. Hmm. Oh, I'm simmering over that. Ugh. How dare they? Looks like waste not. Smells like blast zone. The Iron Crag. What is happening in here? An Eldrazi deck. Oh, I'll kill that. Yes, you can have a 1-1. Well done. Well, at least I'm on the way to being able to hardcast my tyrants. What does this do? Sacrifice. Yeah, I'm not going to let them have a Hedron archive. It's actually one of the few things I'll probably be able to counter, so. No, not 3 in my hand. Okay. I can't even counter that, but I'll make them sack their thingamajig to get rid of, to keep it alive. Nope, they didn't choose to. Fair enough. This is all very rough, isn't it? I only had 1 in my hand at the start of the game. Sure. Okay, I'll just make a 2-2 because I can. Shoot their carrier thrall in the face. Okay, I'm 1 land away from extreme happiness. Okay, that's not going to do it by itself. Yeah. Yeah. I know, right? I was surprised too. Land. That's a land. That's also a land.
Do not defy the designs of an dragon.
That's okay. I'll just get another one. Yeah, it doesn't exile. I'll take out Ugin.
This is not my first ending.
No, they can't. They can't kill that with what they've got on the board, but there's no point taking the risk for when I attack. Thank goodness all this dust doesn't exist in this format. Okay, well they'll have to completely burn Ugin if they want to get rid of my... Yep. Creativity gives me some game, so... I may as well just go again straight away, I think. Well, I'm certainly drawing land. That much we can say for certain. And they've got some good answers to what I'm doing. Yes, activate... No, activate Mutavault. God damn it. So I'm down to 1 Tyrant, I think. Yeah, I've got 3 in exile. So I'll create a 2/2. And block. I'll fire off Volcanic Spite. Doing this because it draws me a card. Get rid of that. Oh, now you turn up. Ridiculous. Where were you, man? Can't say no to an old big score from time to time. That I'm less fussed about, but... I'm a patient man, I can wait. That's more of a problem. Yeah, I think you target the triomes. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, let's scoop this one up. Mono Black Eldrazi. I think I put in Shark Typhoon. Take out 1 Spite and 1 Torch to the tower, and just leave it like that. Little on the slow side, but it gets us very much where we want to be. What? But get out of my hand! Land. No, actually, let's just ditch one land here. Should have ditched 2 lands. What was I thinking? That's fine by itself. So I'm not hugely moved to expose my Tyrant to a removal spell at this point. I think I'll just play another Fable of the Mirror Breaker. The Mycosynth Gardens. Well, it's a card. If nothing else, that we can say for sure. Right, let's ditch both of these lands, I think. Continue. Non-artifact spells you cast have improvise. Yep, okay. That I am gonna kill. So counter draw. Okay. Land. Go away. So I could creativity for 3 here. Or I could just chill. Play a Tyrant. Which I think is a decent start. Copy said Tyrant. Then even if they wipe the board, I've got a super powerful follow-up. Reflection plus Vaultborn Tyrant. What a time to be alive. So they could stop me from countering this, so I'm not going to counter it. Which makes intuitive sense. So what can I do here? I can deduce and then creativity for 3. That seems pretty good. I'm just kind of hoping they don't have a mass removal spell. I think we kind of just have to work under that assumption. Or I could just creativity for 2, actually, and leave 1 tyrant in my deck. Discard 2 cards. We have 31 cards, which lets us survive an Ulamog hit. Am I negating that? Yeah, I think I should. It's not Extinction Event. That much we know. If they attack with Ulamog, they're dead. Right, okay. What's next? So, let's get a Fable down. Fires of Victory deals to target creature or planeswalker. Bleh. So if I copy Vaultborn Tyrant and attack, they can block, they take 11, which is not quite enough. So, in which case I shall kill their 1/1. Then I shall copy Vaultborn Tyrant. I didn't draw a single land. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Oh, well, it doesn't matter, but... Kill that. Cool. Okay. So we managed to eke our way out of that situation, despite the opponent casting an Ulamog. No counter spells, but I think this is a good enough hand. Now we have a counter spell at least. Sure, you may have a Reckoner Bankbuster. I will start deducing. Yeah, I think that's worth countering. It keeps them off their mana ramp for a turn. Missing a land drop is super annoying, but... yeah, let's just do it again. Oh well. Not hiding the fact that I don't have a counterspell anymore. Still no land, you say? Okay, well that's good, isn't it? That's really good. Keep it light, folks. Okay, well, at least they're just drawing cards, he says. So I'll go to 12. Big score discarding Shock Typhoon. Right, well, stick a Tyrant into play. Forsaken Monument's a good card. But I am willing to fight you in this situation. Because I will get another Tyrant and also a card. Okay, it's gonna be close. How much do I care to counter Ugin? I think I probably should. Yep. Right, let's get rid of Deduce and a big score. Send in the creature. And Vaultborn Tyrant number 2. Still feels like we're clinging to life a little bit here. Anything that's not Ulamog or Ugin I could live with. Well, that'll learn me, won't it? Okay, so I've got 2 Tyrants in exile, 1 in the graveyard, so I've only got 1 left in the deck. 32 cards. Can't destroy their Ulamog. Is there any way out of this situation? Drawing a counterspell at any point in the last 100 turns would have been one, but... so I could Creativity this, get another Tyrant. That's really just delaying the inevitable, though. I could Creativity away their creatures, but I can't kill Ulamog. Well, let's start with Deduce, anyway. Just for something to think about. Okay. Now creativity for 1. Yeah, I kind of get one go at this, so... Distended Mindbender. Well, it's certainly a card. Okay, well, I'll block here. I'll Volcanic Spite away their pilot. Got 8 cards left to play with. Let's put Triome on the bottom. Don't think I'm getting out of this one. Yeah, many 3 steps ahead are in the bottom 7 cards of my deck. Yes. Yeah, no, fair enough. That was sad. I feel like we should have had the better of that match. Lack of counter spells cost it for us, unfortunately. But I enjoyed the deck. Vaultborn Tyrant continues to be an absolute house. Yeah. No, here's the deck list one more time. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you next time.